Greetings, geeks. This is episode 772 of Geeks in Space, despite what it says on the bottom of the screen. I'm Rob Commander Taco Malda. I'm here with Rob Roseboom.
I'm here.
And Chris DeBona.
I'm here too.
Guys, everything is so great. Everything's working out for all of us. There's no calamities, no stress. That's why I'm in the calm desert of Dune. And Rob is at the beach, just chilling.
Yeah. But I haven't been able to drown myself in the waves yet.
So things are looking up?
Yeah, I guess. I guess I'm immortal now.
You can't suffocate on pixels.
Yeah. Or maybe I'm Namor.
Show us
I
your
watched
ankles.
Wakanda forever.
I'm sorry.
Since that, it was first of all, I fell asleep twice, and it was
Nice.
it was not what's the word I'm looking for?
Good
at all.
Yeah.
It was
it's pretty stupid.
terrible. Like it was worse than I expected, and usually that makes me like something more. You know,
Right?
like my expectations are low. So, look, that was all right. Is what I would say if it was a better movie, and it wasn't though. It was terrible.
Yeah, that movie's a hot mess.
Every time Namor came out with his little flappy wings, I'm like, ooh, boy, this is not how wings physics or people or superheroes should ever work.
Yeah.
And then he got like one of his wings chopped, and that was like a mortal blow, but not really. He's fine. I'm
he's
like,
fine.
what is going on in this movie? This movie is all over the place.
He's got like a super healing factor. He'll just grow new little wings. You don't even want to know how many wings he's got in places you can't see. Do you remember the articles about them having to CG his bulge?
Yeah.
Did he have a bulgy wing?
No.
That dude's like a starfish. That little wing's going to grow a whole new Namor. Then he'll have to fight it.
That's the sequel.
Yep.
Namor for never.
Well, it's just another thing that Vibranium can do.
Everything.
It's a dessert topping. It's a superhero making potion. It's Compound V. It's Compound W and Icy Hot all in one.
That's perfect.
And the best is it's non-stick as well. So you can cook your eggs on it.
So it's part fluorine or something. No, it's its own element. Stop
yeah, you don't
trying
have
to make it into other elements.
Yeah, don't you want to get rid of Teflon? Teflon's no good, remember?
I bet you Vibranium's a forever chemical.
Yeah, but it's not coming out in the PFAS plumes in Ann Arbor.
PVAS is what it is now. It's polyvibranium. Yeah, all right.
It's about 20% of the stories that the internet wants to recommend to me reading because there's a PFAS plume in Ann Arbor.
Yeah,
here in Michigan for sure. The Grass Lake is foamy at the beginning of every spring.
PFAS Lake. Thank you.
As all of it churns up and turns into toxic foam on the shore.
Hey Magnum, if the live captioning does anything funny, screenshot it for us.
Well, maybe Magnum should pay attention to their meeting. Maybe it's the meeting where everyone's getting laid off and he doesn't know it.
That would never happen. No company would ever lay someone off in a meeting. They lay you off by changing your email address and not telling you.
It's by Slack direct message now. Yeah.
Yep. You've been botted, yo. Speaking of companies with lots of layoffs, we have a number of Schadenfreude items related to Elon Musk today.
Elon.
Yeah, good old Elon.
He's the golf cart guy.
He's the head tweet.
Electric golf carts.
He's the head tweeter. King Tweet.
What?
King Twit.
Imagine trading in all of your influence to run Twitter.
All right. I would have done it, but I would have done better.
Well,
and I didn't have a lot of influence.
There's also a story I saw, and this may be just one disgruntled engineer, but it was a story about how Elon had asked him to do something for him, but Elon's account has dropped in followers enough that the thing he wanted wasn't automatic anymore. And once he pointed that out, he was fired.
Oops.
Yeah.
Oops. Well, the story earlier in this week was that Twitter imposed a tweet limit, number of tweets per day, but it botched out, and then one tweet was the limit, and then a bunch of other stuff like emergency broke, like I guess DMs broke for a while, and like things broke all day. And they had a really bad day 16 hours ago on Twitter, I guess, or whenever that story
You know,
happened.
it's funny. So something happened yesterday. Um, I woke up and
You
my
didn't
link.
check Twitter?
I haven't actually been checking Twitter except for there were a couple of DMs, and those still come to my email. So I'm like,
Mm,
that's when I loaded. Otherwise, I just don't go there anymore.
yeah.
It's kind of amazing,
I
you
pulled it
know.
when they killed the APIs and
Hmm.
they killed TweetDeck or whatever the program that I was using instead of the garbage Twitter client.
Hmm.
Yeah,
I
TweetDeck still works.
I mean, yeah, it wasn't TweetDeck, Tweetbot. That was the one I had been using. And so I replaced it on my interface with Ivory, which is a Mastodon client. And now I check Twitter about as often as I check Facebook, which is like maybe once a day. Just go in and see if this is anything, and I don't care. Anyway, they had a Twitter shit show. I it's it actually what was funny about this one is that whenever anything bad happens on Twitter, there's a spike on traffic on Mastodon. And then you get all of these like weird ripple effects about people complaining that there's too many people doing dumb things on Mastodon, and people complaining, "Yay, Mastodon's gonna make it!" And like a week before, all the stories on Mastodon was like, "The Mastodon traffic is slumping, and everybody's leaving Mastodon." It's like the only thing that's gonna get Mastodon to
Guy in charge of
succeed.
large Mastodon server says, "Screw it,"
Yeah,
drops
right.
out of network.
Yeah, the only thing that's going to get Mastodon to really survive is going to be if Elon makes it the only viable alternative. He controls two platforms, guys.
What's the second one? Oh,
Mastodon.
Mastodon. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I hate to put it this way. The biggest problem Mastodon has is people realizing that Twitter wasn't all that important to them in the first place.
Well, that's true.
You know.
But I'll say the thing that's nice to me on Mastodon is because I did a pretty decent sized follower purge. I'm just not getting as much stuff, so it's not as essential. I can check it
Right.
2 or 3 times a day, and I tell you, man, I've if I just had a good RSS interface, I'd vastly prefer that. Maybe what I should do is code an RSS client that has a couple of simple like grouping rules, because like when Corey goes and does his dumps, then that's like 100 items in a row. And guess what? By the third one, I know if I'm going to read it or not, and then it's the wrong interface for it. So maybe if RSS could collapse that up for me, then maybe that would even make that better. Because I bet I get 100 Mastodon items a day, and I can chew through that on an RSS reader faster than I can on a Mastodon client.
Well, I
Anyway.
mean, Corey breaks them into chunks and says, "Don't forget, you can just read this at pluralistic in one post."
Totally, and that's when I want it. That's how I do it. But my interface, on the Mastodon and previously on the Twitter client, puts them all in the timeline. So then I'm scroll, 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 and I don't want to scroll, 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 scroll. I already made my decision. Don't make me interact with the app for this amount of time. That's bad UI. Makes me grumpy. And I often enjoy Corey's things, but not in little bits like that clutter up a different interface.
The answer is don't use Twitter anymore.
Well, yeah. I
It'll
mean,
be fine.
the answer is that we all decided to use Twitter because it was the only tool that got
It was
us
fun.
close.
It was fun.
It replaced blogging. But when you posted a blog entry, you wrote one 500-word thing about the topic at hand, and on Twitter, you just write 50 things, of which I maybe care about 5% of them. So it's about having an abort button.
What was really funny, so I turned on LinkedIn and it said that because your activity is extremely unusual, we've locked your account
Nah.
and you have to go through this unlocking workflow,
Uh-oh.
which was fine. It happened really, really fast. But I was like, yeah, it is unusual that I've been on LinkedIn at all in the last 20
Right.
years, and I was unusually let go. So I started using it a lot more, and I had so many more messages there. And
Well, and you
so
have, I assume, on LinkedIn a lot of connections.
it's a little exhausting.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but it's been great. I mean, people have been super about the layoff and everything. hey, okay, cool, we can hire you now, blah, all this stuff, and it's like it's really awesome. But yeah, I can see why LinkedIn systems are like, there's a lot of activity on Chris's account that's unusual. He usually hates coming to this damn site.
Right? He hates us.
And
Why is he here? That's
why is
unusual.
he here? That's weird.
He hates
Put him
Let's make
us.
sure
outside.
this is legit.
Put him outside, lock the door, and make him explain why he should be in the party.
Exactly. Hey, you're not even a Google anymore. Why would we want you here?
Yeah.
Right.
That's the vibe.
You lost your power.
Yeah.
Well, there's another story that's been going around a bit. Netflix has been testing their 1 password per family or whatever.
Have they now?
And
have you gotten
no, but
caught up in anything?
they tested it in Canada now. And so originally they tested it in like Haiti or something, and they're like, everything, oh no, it's fine. And then they tested it in Canada. So now there's tons of people in Canada that are freaking out. And so it's going to happen in the U.S. soon. So I read a number of articles about people canceling their Netflix, and I gotta wonder, like, what the math is going to work out on this. Is the 10% of accounts that cancel you going to outweigh the whatever percent of accounts that buy a new account because of their password stealing?
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
They have to have done tests.
Sure.
Well, you would.
So the question
think.
becomes, the best account, I guess, is the one that pays you and never ever uses any bandwidth.
That's true.
But there's that point where if you're literally trying to retain users who never use your service, it's like the wrong incentive, right? You should want your users to want to subscribe. They should be active subscribers. Like if you, I'd imagine one of the reports they run is like, here are the number of users who have watched less than a half hour or an hour or 2 hours in a given month.
The perfect customer.
That's a problem, because then they know that as soon as they get around to it, or maybe they're dead and their estate, cancels all their credit cards, it's over. Right. So
Sure.
it's like, I would not want to optimize a company for no users.
Yeah.
You know,
I will say though, if someone's dead and they're still watching 2 hours of Netflix a month, that's a good customer. That's
Right.
Well, that's an alive customer.
That's pretty much everybody watching JAG.
No, JAG and NCIS are stupidly popular.
That's what I'm saying. They're all dead people.
Or no, all the really old people are full on Yellowstone now. They don't even think of themselves as Americans. They're a member of the Dutton family or whatever the hell it is.
I should watch that show at some point.
It was okay. I watched the first couple episodes and I was like, yeah, I know what this is. I don't need this. But I get the appeal.
You know what I've been watching is we just started White Lotus, and that's
so much fun.
It's fun. It's really fun. And everybody says season 2 is really,
good.
really, really good, but I'm still in season 1.
It's
I'm really enjoying
good.
it.
Yeah.
And I'm really enjoying Poker Face too. Like, those are the 2 shows.
The last 2 Poker Face were incredible.
Yeah,
they were really good.
They're just fun.
We were like, this is kind of thin, you know. And then we watched episodes of 5 and 6, and we're like, okay, we're in.
It is thin, but that's okay, because the thinness is just about having weird. You have to lean into the fact that these characters are nonsense, and this is totally pretend.
No. That's not what made it thin. What made it thin was, you have Natasha Lyonne, and basically, so Poker Face is Natasha Lyonne is Columbo doing a weekly episode where she solves a mystery.
Oh, she's a superhero who has psychic powers.
She's just good at telling when people are lying, right? And that's so they only ask you to believe that she knows when people are lying. That's the only thing they need you to believe for the whole show to work, and she carries it, right?
For sure.
And then everything else, like the stupid, people chasing her around, or, the whole Bruce Banner subtext. I don't care about any of that nonsense.
I don't think you're supposed to.
But 5 and 6, those episodes, they just like, you know what? We've got our formula. Natasha Lyonne in unusual situations with murders. That's gold, baby.
I really like how they edit the shows. How they, the first third is the crime, and then you get Natasha to show up.
How Natasha
was involved or connected to it. And so I think that editing gimmick is just really, really fun.
And I don't remember Columbo doing that. I think that's actually just really a Poker Face,
I mean, Ryan Johnson did it, I guess, in Glass Onion.
Well, no,
too,
people have done it a lot
Yeah, it's a
in
thing.
other shows, but the way they do it is really well done, honestly.
And the other thing that like you have to lean into the fact that time has no meaning because things happen like at speeds that are impossible. And to me, so that breaks all suspension of disbelief for me. Like things are happening too fast or too slow.
Give me an example.
People die, and then suddenly everybody's cool with it and doing like they're moving on to their next thing and like talking, and the cops have cleared the crime scene, and she's allowed to like just be around the crime scene. Like there's a whole lot of you just have to turn off suspension of disbelief, and then you have all these really over the top silly characters, the barbecue DJ guy, and like these characters they're not at all realistic, and that so you have to lean into the show. The show knows that it's silly, and it's just gonna give you a good time with some silly characters. It's not burdened by any reality. That's how I feel about it.
I don't know. I agree. There's a lot of it's like the whole CSI and CIS. Like, wow, so they got back results that quick, did they, in the lab? Oh, they're gonna let the lab guy on the crime scene? That's stupid. But it's like, it's more that I don't know, when they do ask you to believe that this barbecue pitmaster is going vegan and having huge regrets about it, and it's causing problems with his family, like, I'm like, okay, that's kind of lame. But at least the actors they brought in to play those parts, they put their all into it.
The
And I'm like,
performances are all great, and I think that to
no,
me is
no, no. They have to be great to carry the material
for
they're
sure,
being given.
for
right?
sure.
And this is actually why episode 3, where the barbecue thing was kind of thin. You're like,
But the performances were all great.
That one not as much.
I enjoyed
it's
that.
like D.L. Hewley was great.
I thought that was my favorite. I think that might have been my favorite episode so far.
Nah, not for me. But yeah, honestly, the I just loved. I mean, seeing Esapath and Matheson back.
Judith
she was on
Light?
Law and Order Forever, and Judith Light as these fucking
That was fun.
harpies.
That episode was fun.
Oh man, that was good.
Yep.
That was.
Did you watch? Did you watch last night's episode?
That was episode 6, right?
Where the acting, the stage play or whatever.
Yeah. That
was so fun. I don't know. I'm thrilled with that show. It's
honestly
the one
seeing
that I'm
Ellen
looking forward to.
Barkin. I mean,
Yeah.
she's gone. Like, holy shit! It's
there's also, if you're interested in it, a Harley Quinn Valentine's Day special, which is very silly. If you need to get a little bit of your Bane on. They do a good job with that episode. I had a lot of fun. Yeah. Let's see. Well, let's while we're on TV, Amazon Prime apparently is going to be trying to do a Spider-Man noir live series.
Really?
Yeah, Phil Miller or Miller and Lord, I guess, are connected as producers. I think it's going to be done a little bit more serious, but I think one of the writers is like one of the writers from like the Jump Street movies. So maybe it's going to be silly. I'd be really curious about tone. I don't really care, but that's something that could be super fun if they pull it off. I don't know what this Tron identity thing is that you shared, Chris. It looks like a pretty horrible game.
Oh no, it looks awful, but I love everything Tron.
Fair enough. It looked bad.
Grid in this narrative puzzle adventure set within the Tron universe.
But like, I don't know if you noticed this about the trailer. It's Tron.
It's Tron.
That's it. That's all I got.
Yeah. They got frisbees, so it's Tron.
They got space frisbees and cool bikes, and it's all in the orange and black and
yep.
Yeah.
Hey Rob, tell me about Super Cows.
Yeah. What? Super Cows.
Did you post the story about Super Cows? China's cloning Super
Cows?
Oh,
I was waiting to talk about Russian satellites.
I was gonna do the space story. We have 2 space stories. I was gonna do those together.
The Russian satellite one.
We have the satellite and the SpaceX launch, but now we spoiled it for Magnum, who's watching this with subtitles.
We didn't spoil it. We went out of order.
Oh no!
I don't think you can spoil
A subreddit.
3 nerds being dumb together. It's like, are they gonna be shocked? Oh look, Rob, Chris is talking over Rob again. I mean,
That's right.
What? When does that happen? Now
Rob's never been interrupted.
the super cows
Yeah.
produce 50% more milk than an average cow.
Wow.
That's what they've done. Well, 50% more than the best Holstein cows, the
Oh.
Frisian Holsteins that come from our homeland, Rob.
Oh well.
So
therefore, they're the best cows. Until I guess now we make genetic super cows.
Well, they're the best dairy cows you can buy right now. And then the Chinese have genetically altered them so that they produce 50% more milk. I love what we do to animals.
Right?
I mean, you look at that thing, and that thing would not exist out in the wild whatsoever.
No.
Its udder would become horribly infected, and it would die. But we figured out how to make that even more unnatural.
The thing that I always think about when I read about these super mutated crop animals is that there is nothing, scientifically speaking, preventing us from doing this with humans. And it is only...
Wait, come on, man. No one wants a human to have enormously large infected udders. That's crazy.
Have you been reading my journal? No, but it's only...
The newly born calves will be used as the basis for a larger herd of super cows, Jin added.
Oh, yeah.
Super cows. Gotta have super cows. So what I'm picturing is if they don't make it to the milking machine in time,
they have to roll them there.
Well, there's that thing with milk where it turns into a kind of plastic.
You mean cheese?
No, Bakelite. More, I was thinking. But yeah, so it turns into a kind of plastic. So I'm just picturing like one day where the guy who operates the milking robot doesn't show up, right? And he comes back and it's like, ice skating super cows on an enormous plastic field of super cow milk,
A lot of the newer high-tech ones are completely automated. You train the cows.
Right. Someone's got to maintain the robot.
When they become full, they actually walk through like a disinfecting area and then go up to the milker themselves. It's a lot more efficient.
And they're more comfortable. They just do it on demand, right?
Yeah. I don't know that they have that in China. They probably just have some dude who sits on a stool and milks cows until he dies of dehydration, and then they put a new one on the stool.
Well, no. He's never dehydrated because he's got the milk.
He's got milk.
There.
Oh no, you can't drink the milk. You'll be punished.
That's the customer's milk.
Yeah.
What about the plastic floor? Can he nibble on that? The plastic floor cheese.
Yeah, he can have whatever drops.
You can have some spare cheese. It's just on the ground.
Like they give him a soaking sponge and a bucket so he can bring some home to the family.
He's like, I've taken some of the disinfectant. We can be clean one more day.
Yeah. Father's home. He's brought us cheese. Yay!
And disinfectant.
I don't know for sure that's how a Chinese milking parlor works, but it very well might be.
Is it called a milking parlor?
I have no idea.
I hope so.
Call it.
I mean, I think it should be called that. The milking salon.
I know. You can call that. I've heard like smaller farms calling that area the milking parlor.
You go and hang out there with your droogs.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Sorry.
You brought some floor cheese, didn't you?
All
right.
That's right.
Super cows.
We got 2 SpaceX stories. One, I guess, happy, one sad. The sad, weird. The Russian satellite. It's been up there for a while. It's been up there. It's a secret satellite that's been up there since like 2015 or 2013 or so. It broke apart and it was really high. And that picture, I don't think is a real picture, guys. I think that might be photoshopped.
I think that might be a fake.
Yeah. But
it's
apparently,
an illustration of a satellite breaking up over Earth.
Yep, that looks like a AI kind of thing that you might do. Anyway, it broke up. It shredded up into pieces. It's really high, so it's not going to just fall down. It's not a low Earth orbit thing. It's up there. So they say it's going to be up there for a while.
I mean, How many miles up is that?
It's like
Yeah, so
700.
that's inside the Kessler band. It could drop to the Earth. It could not drop to the Earth.
Yeah, it could be up
This
there
is why
for decades.
this is why we got to get Space Force up and running.
Summon Steve
Space Force
Carell.
is up and running.
More
They've-
than it is now. I mean,
Mhm,
like
mhm.
we have to fully fund Space Force.
That's right. They're up
Space
there.
garbage collecting force.
They're up there
We-
right now
you know
with
what we
their
really
monkey
need?
space
We-
station.
That's not really a Space Force mission, right? What we need is like a Space Coast Guard, right? Who are tasked with ensuring the safety of spacefaring folks,
Or just a really big magnet.
and if there's a big, like a sandbar, they chart a sandbar. They chart the Kessler ranges of orbits for ships. It's like putting up lighthouses, so they put up space lighthouses.
Space light,
Yeah.
but they're magnets.
Yeah. We need a maritime authority. We don't need a military force. I mean, yes, I know this is a Russian satellite and I'm fucking around, but it's,
Think how freaked out the Chinese got
we
when
should
they
have a
shot
space
down
navy,
their balloon.
a space Air Force, a space Coast Guard, Space Marines, clearly,
Yep.
right? And
We already had those, but
is
we
that
lost
all
those. We lost those tragically to the xenomorphs.
Yeah. Space Army, we can just have them be Marines.
That's fair. We don't need to keep creating new branches of government. That just adds to inefficiencies, right? New branches of our military. We got enough. We already spend most of our money making murder machines.
We could have a space Congress, a space president.
Well, I don't want to tell you about our secret space FBI.
Space Fibbies? Yeah, space CIA.
Fibbies. That's right. What's really weird is the space submarines, the submariners, the space submariners. They're weird.
Namor the space submariner.
And space dog catchers. It's not a lot of work yet, but
well, I mean, we know there's some space dog corpses that need to get collected.
Yeah, sure.
I had a tree fall down. I called the space arborist to take care of my tree in space, my space tree.
Yeah, good times.
Good times. The other space-related story is Elon Musk related again. They actually fired a full Starship booster. 31 of the 33 rockets. It went for the full duration of the test, and one of the engines was not fired on purpose. One of them turned off for some other reason, but they said it was enough thrust to have gone to orbit. So now it'll just be 6 or 7 years before they actually do it, right?
Will it be that long until Starship is ready to do stuff? Or are you just doing the normal Elon math of whatever he says, add 5 years?
Whatever he has ad infinity. This was supposed to, remember it was supposed to be...
SpaceX executes a little better than that. I mean,
sure, but they were saying that it was going to be they were going to do the launch where they flew around and landed off Hawaii. They were saying that was going to happen in like a year and a half ago.
I mean, they're always a little late at SpaceX, but
a little late.
I mean, they do ship.
They do. They do.
Credit,
I do. But no, there's no word on how far away they are from actually lifting off. But
yeah,
that's going to be a hell of a thing when it happens. When it does happen, though, we're going to have to make sure that we are given adequate warning so that we can pretend to dodge them. Like everybody dodge left.
Oh, right, because we're in low Earth orbit. So the thing I want to make sure we point out.
Oh, that's right, the keyboard book.
Martin's book. So this is an old friend. He worked at Google and then Twitter and a bunch of other places. He's just a lovely designer. You might remember his blog post tracking down where Playtronics was in real life, if it was real. From sneakers. So he basically went through the process of which bridge was it that they crossed, and then what did they actually do in the movie, because it was not actually filmed in the Bay Area, right? Anyway, it was, he's a really deliberate, neat guy, and so he's doing this cool ass book about the history of keyboards.
I could have sworn I posted. Oh no, I did. I just skipped past it.
Yeah.
I was gonna buy his book because it looked neat.
Yeah.
Is it like a big expensive book or is it just a regular book?
The lowest level where you get a copy of it is $150. Because I mean, this is 2 chunky books.
Hefty
you know?
books.
Yeah. So there you go.
That's cool. All right. Do we have anything else that we wish to get off
I
of our
remember which one I
chests?
bought. I bought one of them. Yeah. One of the things. Yeah, I mean, look at that beautiful bastard.
It's a tome, a double tome, and it's a picture book, so I have a chance of reading it.
Right? Pictures.
I'm still like halfway through the Artemis project, and I was like, I really want to finish it. It's really good, but
yeah.
But that's how fast I read.
The Artemis project? You mean Project Hail Mary?
Yeah, there we go. Project Hail Mary. That was called Artemis, right?
I went full in Audible, and I have already listened to it twice. It's so good.
It's a really good story. But I would happily. I don't know. My brain doesn't like me reading anymore. I've been ruined for words.
Did you read Delta V by Daniel Suarez?
No.
You'd love it, by the way.
He did.
But he just came out with the sequel to that.
He did all those books about the like artificial intelligence robot controlling people, right? Wasn't that him?
Yeah, Damon.
Yeah. Those were fun.
Yeah, they were fun. They were really fun. Yeah, he did 2 other books, and then he did Delta V, which is about asteroid mining.
Oh.
And this is the sequel to that, right?
All right.
I will say it's almost stupidly realistic. You know how sometimes books will like, and now I'm going to explain every rivet in the machine.
Yeah, that's
a little exhausting. But honestly, the topic is so fun. I'm like, I'm in. Sure. Explain to me the rectenna array for the solar satellites beaming down microwaves and what orbit they're in, and do it. Come on, I'm here for it. So it's kind of great.
All right, gents.
But boy, is she a thick girl.
So many words. So many words.
Yeah.
I can read an infinite number of tweets, but somehow once you put them together into a book-sized tome, I have a really hard time.
It's not a small book.
Nah.
I'll find the link and I'll send it over to you.
All right, man. Well, goodbye, Chris DeMona.
Bye.
Goodbye, Rob Roseboom.
Goodbye.
That was episode 772 of Geeks in Space. I was Rob Commander Takamalda, and I will see you next week. Bye-bye.